top story. We can now confirm the man accused of shooting 7 San Antonio police officers during that Stone Oak standoff was killed by SWAT gunfire and not from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. News 4 San Antonio's Mariah Medina reports on how a mental health call in Comal County ultimately turned into a gunfight in San Antonio.
This was a scene Wednesday night. What started as a call for suicide in progress quickly turning into the scene of a gun battle between San Antonio police and 46-year-old Brandon Poulos. By early Thursday morning, 7 officers were shot by Poulos, the only casualty from the firefight being Poulos, who was killed by SWAT officers after an hours-long standoff. New information shows not even 24 hours earlier, Comal County deputies had responded to a very similar call involving Poulos. His mother calling 911 around 11:30 Tuesday night to report her son had just been released on bond from the Bexar County Jail on Sunday, facing charges of assaulting his elderly in-laws, his spouse, and DWI second offense. His mother warning dispatchers her son was armed, a violation of his conditions of release, and threatening to kill himself. She wasn't the only one to call 911. Poulos also called 911 30 times, the sheriff's office says, repeatedly threatening to shoot any law enforcement that approached him during those calls. All massive red flags to Willie Ng, who teaches graduate courses in law enforcement at UIW with 30 years of law enforcement experience.
He's threatening to shoot and kill a law enforcement officer. He's already assaulted family members. This guy's a threat to society. We need to take action.
Poulos' mother reported her son had fired shots as she left the Comal County address, and a neighbor reported gunfire around 2 a.m. Wednesday. Comal County authorities handled the call as a mental health call. Hostage negotiators aiding dispatchers in the numerous calls Poulos made to 911 until all contact from Poulos ended just after 3 a.m. Wednesday. The sheriff's office deploying a drone to assess the scene at 3:22 a.m., ultimately choosing to disengage, but first sending a reverse 911 call to neighbors to notify them of the situation.
After 4 hours, he's quiet now. Okay, the threat's gone. No, the threat's still there. The threat maybe just fell asleep. Or worst case scenario, what if the threat killed everyone in the home and killed himself? You know, I think that it was sloppy. I really do.
The Comal County Sheriff's Office says it didn't become aware of Poulos' criminal cases in Bexar County or protective order until Wednesday afternoon, securing a warrant for violating a protective order around 2 p.m. Wednesday. But by then, Poulos was in the wind, telling a warrant officer via phone at 4 p.m. Wednesday that he was at his mother's apartment in San Antonio and would arrange for his surrender. Just before 7:30 p.m. Wednesday, deputies got their first look inside the Comal County home when they escorted Poulos' spouse inside, finding gunshots in the walls, shell casings from multiple firearms, and a car with a shattered window in the garage. The agency says as they were preparing to issue a BOLO for Poulos, they discovered he was already engaged in a shootout with San Antonio police.
What if they would have done all these things the proper way? Would that incident have occurred in San Antonio? We don't know. We can't predict it, but there's a what if that we should never have in law enforcement.
Ng, however, doesn't fault Comal County deputies for their response. His doctoral thesis research revealing the biggest issue lies with leadership.
Nowadays, officers are more concerned with disciplinary actions, criminal charges, versus getting shot in the line of duty. That is disturbing, and that should concern the community.
We asked Comal County Sheriff Mark Reynolds for an interview. His office instead sent this statement that says in part his deputies followed protocol. Protocol, Ng says, needs to be reevaluated.
Their protocols did not lead to a successful outcome. It led to failure.
Mariah Medina, News 4 San Antonio.
Thanks for watching. If you want to see more from News 4 San Antonio, make sure you like and subscribe.